Hi guys, Mr. Freidhoff here. I just want to go over some note-taking skills and tips for note-taking that you might find are beneficial throughout this year. First thing that I want to go over is take your time and write notes neatly. If you're just going through and quickly doing it for just to get it done and not really taking the time, it's not really worth it. You want to take good notes. You want to take notes that are legible so you can reread them later. Another thing, don't write down every single word if you don't feel like you have to. A lot of times students will think, I have to get every single word down off this PowerPoint. I try to summarize on my PowerPoints as much as I can so you don't have to write down every single word in like the textbook. So if you know something that from the PowerPoint that you don't need to write down, summarize, so you understand it going forward. A lot of students will just, try to write down everything and they get so overwhelmed. Take what you need, read it, try to think about it, and then write down what you need to know from that slide. Secondly, don't use a computer. Please don't use a computer for writing notes. There's a lot of research out there that shows it's not very effective. You get onto other websites, go on Facebook, Twitter and stuff. You're distracted, so just don't use computers. They're not effective. Use the handwriting. There's research out there that shows handwriting your notes is way more effective. My biggest tip and biggest thing, if you don't take anything away from this PowerPoint or this lecture, take this third point away. Read the chapter or read PowerPoints before class, and then come to class with your notes already completed. If you do that, I guarantee you class is going to go a lot smoother. You're gonna realize, you're gonna understand more, you're gonna learn more. When you're taking notes, when I'm lecturing, you might miss something. I guarantee you, if you take your notes beforehand, and I upload all my PowerPoints onto my teacher page, class will go so much smoother, and you're going to learn so much more. I cannot recommend this enough. Either read the chapter and take notes, or use my PowerPoints and take notes, and so you can just listen to me and ask questions and think about the material more during class. Lastly, the notes are there for a reason. Not so when after class, don't just like throw your notes to the side and say, "Oh, I'm done with my notes." Reread your notes. Have a friend ask you about your notes. Try to teach somebody that's not taking in a class using your notes and showing them some maybe diagrams, some notes that you took. Even rewrite your notes. I used to rewrite my notes all the time back in college. It really helps. There is so much research out there that shows the more you look at notes, the more you're engaged with the material, even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes, the more you're going to learn from that class. More tips about how to take notes in my class, and this is specific for my class. Every teacher has their own way of making PowerPoints and notes. Just a couple of points for my class. When I upload PowerPoints to my teacher page, I don't include, that means I delete all the memes, the jokes, the examples, any videos, and then upload that PowerPoint. So the one you see online isn't what you're going to see in class. You're going to quickly see I use a ton of examples. I use a ton of like quick videos that are embedded in my PowerPoints. I do that so the file is easy for me to upload because it's smaller, and it's also easier for you to just get through the material that you just need to take notes on. So when you get to class, I can use those examples and you go, oh yeah, I understand that, that example now because I already read this beforehand. So you're going to see the notes online. They're going to look a little bit different than the ones that you see in class. They are word for word the same, just it's going to have less stuff and it's going to be less confusing for the ones that you look at online. Secondly, when you are in class, or if I miss a slide, don't write anything on a black background. I use that black background to say, hey, this is a teaching point, put your pencils down, let's talk about this example. A lot of times it will be an example, and I'll ask you a question, have you try to think about the content in a different way. Next, don't write anything in red. I also will have like text in red on a white background. That's, again, more just talking points, more examples, more just points for me to know, hey, let's talk about this during class, and I want to pose you a question, have you think about something. So only write what's in black text on a white background. Lastly, ask to go back if I go too quickly. I love this material. I love talking about biology, and sometimes I talk really, really, really fast, and I click 3 slides forward, just say, hey, Mr. Freidhoff, I didn't catch that last slide. Can you go back? Understand that I do have to keep a pace for the class and have to keep it moving, but I'll try to accommodate and say, yeah, I understand I'm going a little too quick. Let me slow down here, and I'll go back and we can look at those slides or those slides in the notes. Understand though, again, I have to keep a pace for the class, and I upload all my PowerPoints online. So whether you don't get something in class or you miss something, it will be online on my teacher page.